up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Dubai. This is season 2, episode 1. So let's get into it. I just want to make mention before I do the review, we all need to remember that they filmed this season like almost a year ago. So they filmed season 2 during January of 2023 all the way till May of 2023. I don't know why it took so long for us to get it. My only thing is like maybe it's because of the laws over there in Dubai and the way that they govern their country. We know it's different than the way they govern America. So that might be the reason. But hopefully if they get a season 3, they're already like filming now. Because I think people were kind of okay. Well, no. People were kind of testy about it taking so long for them to give us season 2 that I feel like if y'all was going to give us a season 3, you need to be filming now. Just saying. Y'all bear with me with the lighting. I loaned one of my family members my ring light. Ain't got it back yet. Ain't got it back yet. But here we are. So the episode opens up and, they give this really beautiful aerial shot of Dubai. I think it's just crazy how Dubai used to be a desert. And now it's like this oasis in this metropolis. I think it just shows like how humans create infrastructure. Like, I think Dubai is one of the richest, or if not the richest place on this earth. But I just was like, that's trippy to me, that it was a desert and now it's this, because people wanted to create like a country there or a city or civilization. So we end up on this scene with Lisa and Ayan playing paddleball. It's basically pickleball. They just have bigger paddles. Like, Lisa ends up saying it's not that big in America. It probably may become that way, but it's definitely pickleball because they have on the same exact outfits that they sell at Target for pickleball, which I'm not hating because some of the outfits that I saw with the picture of her friends was cute. Lisa pretty much says Ayan only wants to come play pickleball with me because she doesn't like that I'm making friends with other people. So she want to come kick it with me. So they play pickleball. We end up seeing the instructors come. Ayan sucks. Like, she flailing everywhere. But she seemed to have a good time. She was like, I don't work out. I'm from Africa. We don't do all of this. We climb trees. We run with the animals. We don't do all of this. I said, okay, Ayan. So they end up sitting down and then they start talking about Beyonce. When I tell you, let me say this to you, Giselle Knowles Carter, you ain't right. And when I tell you, you ain't right. So basically, I think everyone saw that video of Beyonce when she was performing at the new Atlantis Hotel. I think they said it's called Atlantis the Royal, where she was on that podium and I think she had, I guess maybe injured her leg, no, her foot. And she was like, oh, oh, oh. And the podium comes up. I went to the Renaissance concert, okay, in Atlanta, Georgia with my friends. Look, my night, we won the mute challenge. That was the night she said, y'all won. Atlanta, okay, Wednesday night. Do you know that heifer? That evil lady decided on the last night she was in Georgia to sing. Oh, the dangerous thing, that medley. Oh. She did that one. She did Thick, and she did All Up in Your Mind. She evil. She evil because she could have very well did that on night 1. Okay, raggedy. Hey, when I saw that video, I said, oh, so it's F me and my drag. Okay, it's F me and my drag. Like, how dare you disrespect me like that, ma'am? Like, I'm not even in the Beehive, but when I tell you that is hands down, I've been to, like, I can count how many concerts I've been to on my hands, but when I tell you that concert right there, that lady, you can never try her talent, because girl, I'm just mad she ain't do because I would have been in there. Girl, you get on my nerves, Beyonce. You get on my nerves, okay? But I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. So they talking about Beyonce. They're talking about how they were in V.V.I.P. So everybody, I guess who's who in Dubai was invited to the opening of the hotel, or whoever got tickets, and we saw everybody went except Sarah. And Sarah, the producers asked Sarah, "Did you go?" No. You probably didn't get a ticket, or you weren't invited. Cause don't ever try Beyonce like that, Sarah. Cause that's an experience. Okay. But we see Lisa and Ayan went. They ended up getting like to hang out with Kendall Jenner. They also met Mama Tina, and they was with Idris Elba's beautiful wife. That lady is beautiful. She is naturally pretty. Okay, I'm mad she with my man though. But he chose a good one because she's gorgeous. All right, so they all had a good time. We then have a feed in of Brooks and Caroline Stansberry where they were like, "Well, girl, we was in VIP. Everybody else in V.V.I.P was like a block away. We were there. We were at the stage, and honestly, based off the videos that they fed into the episode, Caroline and Brooks legit were like, I think, at the front of the stage. Like Brooks, you could clearly see the dancers. And Caroline's video, the back of her was the water that was in front of like the water that was like in front of the stage, or like mixed into the stage. So they got great tickets. Okay. Either way, y'all saw Beyonce. Okay, I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't complain. So while they're sitting there, Ayan tells Lisa, "Oh, I'm gonna go have lunch with Stansberry." You can immediately tell that Lisa still does not see it for Stansberry, because she kind of was like, okay. Like she was trying her best not to make a face. And Ayan's like, "Yeah, we've been talking. We said we were gonna move forward. So I want to go hang out with her." And Ayan's confessional with the red, she has on like, I think it's like, is it feathers? No, it's like flowers and feathers. That red, she looks gorgeous right there. That's a look. That is a confessional look. But she basically was like, Ayan wants to move forward with Stansberry. She's like, I don't know what I'm going to get with her. Like, it could be good, it could be bad, but I'm willing to move forward with her. Lisa is like, be careful, but after you have your lunch with her, definitely come back and tell me everything. But it's kind of already setting up the issues between Lisa and Ayan, in the sense of like they both are very like territorial over each other. You got Ayan kind of feeling some type of way that Lisa has these other friends that she's playing paddleball with, and then you got Lisa kind of being like, you going out with the op, which is Stansberry, and feeling some type of way as well. Because at the end of the episode, she makes a comment about like, "Girl, don't get too close to my best friend, or don't try to steal my best friend." So they both are territorial of each other. So next is Caroline Stansberry. So her and Sergio are in the car. She not paying Sergio no mind. He trying to have a conversation with her. He all touching on her, and she is like, okay. Like she texting whoever on the phone, and she's just kind of like, "Okay, Sergio, I need you to pay attention to the road and not me." They're actually going to go look at their home. So, last season we saw them pretty much try to like break ground on that home, but it seems like it's not done yet when they were filming this. So she was like, "We did that in 2021. We also find out because of her age, I guess they made her do like a physical, like she had to run on the treadmill, get blood. I said, is it really that much to own a house? But I guess that's the lay of the land and the laws of the land over there. But like Stansberry said, like I've never heard of that when it comes to owning a home. But they have their home. They're trying to like break ground, and like, well, they broken ground, but it's taking too long. I guess she said it was only supposed to take them at least like 2 or 3 weeks to do renovations. Now it's taking them 12, and they're actually living with her best friend we saw last season, Michael. And all he asked them is, "Y'all don't be going to Pound Town in his house." And I don't blame him. Don't be doing nothing like that in my house. I do that in my house. You don't do that in my house. So he's like, "Don't take it to Pound Town in my house. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please, no." So Sergio is ready to get it in. And she's just like, "Girl, we got married. We having less sex. I'm happy. I said, okay, girl, you happy. But honestly, the house is done now. So Caroline's like where they're filming her confessional, because sometimes I'm like, I feel like they're doing it in the actual establishment or like in the person's home. Because normally it's like a green screen, but I don't know, maybe in Dubai they're doing it actually in their home. I feel like they're doing it where like on location. But the background of hers is her home, is the actual home that they finished. And I'll put the link below to the Bravo Insider article where you can go through, and I'll feed in videos too, where you can see that their house is actually done. Like it's done and everything. So like where Caroline is doing her confessionals is actually the finished product of the home that she complaining about right now. So they start talking about babies. She ends up saying Sergio's eggs, the ovaries are on fire. I say yes. Their relationship, I don't think is going to last. And it's not that because like I like wishing bad on it, but I feel like you can't compromise on kids. It's either you want kids or you don't want kids. And it's clear that Sergio wants kids. And I think it's kind of like unfair, but I also think like he should have never married somebody who wasn't like dead set on like, yeah, let's have kids. And I also think Caroline did herself a disservice by getting with somebody who really wants kids, but you don't want to carry them. And then you live in a country where I don't think surrogacy is like legal, because I remember that was one of the things like they were thinking about doing surrogacy, and I'm like, if you can do surrogacy then do it, but you can also tell that like it doesn't, like Caroline don't want no kids. She already has her son and her daughter from her previous marriage. I definitely don't think she wants a baby with Sergio. And not to say like it's because it's Sergio, but I just think like she's almost 50 years old. I don't think she wants to be running around or taking care of a baby. I think she likes the lifestyle that her and Sergio have, like going out to get drinks, having a good time. That I just feel like this ain't it, you know? We end up leaving Sergio and Caroline and going to Caroline Brooks. So she actually got the glass house up and running. It actually has a really nice like aesthetic. And one thing I will give this to Caroline is that it's not, her business was not made for TV like how G&A is for Giselle and Ashley, because it's like I've seen Giselle and Ashley, online with the whole like them doing press at the local news. But if you go on their website, there's nothing new on their website. Nothing new. Where it's like this seems to be like a very viable, like a business that Caroline wanted to do. Like it's up and running. They have workers that like, that work there. We find out that Zoran, her ex-husband, pretty much made it happen for her. And I love that she said when they asked her, well, how are you able to get this done so quickly? And she said, money. And I said, that's what it is. Like, yeah, hard work can get you far, but money can get you farther. So I'm not even mad at that. She said because of Zoran's help, he's been like, they've been able to like really work on their relationship. She was like, it's gotten to the point where like he actually can come over and pick up my son, our son. She said, because at one point she wouldn't even let him come over. And they were able to move forward because I think he took accountability, because last season he even said he was sorry about the way he treated her. And how Caroline was like, yeah, like you were very mean and you took it out mostly on me when things weren't going right. And I feel like that's what you're supposed to do. Like when you hurt somebody, even if that wasn't your intent or like that wasn't the purpose of why you did what you did, you should apologize. So it kind of reminds me of Frank and Dolores. Like Frank admits he wasn't a good husband to her and wasn't the best father in the beginning stages of his kid's life. And he always credits Dolores to the success of their kids and to keeping everything together. That's the reason why they're able to move forward. And I think that's probably why Caroline and Zoran can move forward. I'm not gonna lie, them arguing about the bathroom was funny to me, because she was like, when you gonna fix it? And Zoran was like, I'm not the maintenance man. I'll call somebody. I said, well, I'm with her. Like, they've only been up and running for 3 months. Why the toilet not working, Zoran? Fix it. You fix it, okay? We also find out that when she had her grand opening, the only people she invited was Nina. And I kind of miss Nina, even though it's the first episode. I don't know, Nina's aesthetic, even though she was snooty as hell, it just fit in some way. But Nina, Sarah was there, and then so was Caroline Stansberry and Sergio. But Caroline Brooks didn't invite Ayan or Lisa. And I think their relationship is so weird because one minute they're all cool, the three of them are like clicked up and having a good time, and then the next minute she falling out with both of them. It is what it is. So we leave Caroline Brooks and then we go over to Sarah. We see that Sarah is doing something with these healers she got from Bali, a white man. Let me explain something to y'all. That man did not look like he came from Bali. I only want the Bali. I don't think they call Balinesian people, but like if I'm practicing spirituality, do from a region like country or a country, I want the natives to be doing spiritual stuff to me, not some white man covered in tattoos. I'm just, and so basically Sarah says she's been, doing her spiritual cleanse and moving, trying to get past her past traumas. Great. This might just be the Western mindset in me. And I'm cool on non-traditional ways of like healing, but like I don't think me screaming in a pillow while a man in a man bun is beating on a drum and some random lady is ringing a bell over me is going to help me cut the cords and really like release my trauma. I hope Sarah is also going to like actual like therapy, because just screaming and not actually like talking out your situations or like the things that you've been through, I don't think is going to do anything for you. And again, that just could be my Western mindset, but I just don't see how screaming in a pillow after I just told you my first man used to put hands on me, and when you ask me on a scale of 10 of 1 to 10, I tell you it's a 10 because it was bad. Then the next one is my second husband cheated on me. And the level of pain I felt with that was a 10. Like screaming in a pillow is going to help me release something, but I also probably need to go sit on somebody's couch and like really weed through that. I also don't agree with Sarah saying that her son is like craving a father. I think that you are craving a partner, and I feel like your son is okay with it just being you two. Because like you said, because Sarah makes mention that her son has seen her be disrespected and harmed by the men that she's been with. And they even do a flashback where he's like, they hurt you. So the little boy understands like to a certain extent like what has happened between his mom and her previous relationships. But her saying that he craves a father or he really wants a father, I feel like that's projection. I think you want a husband, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that, or you want a partner to go through life with because you're tired of being by yourself. But sometimes we be thinking kids need certain things. And granted, maybe when he gets a certain age, he might want those things. But I think right now, he cool with it just being you two, in my opinion. I do think she looks really pretty in that, I think it's like, when I say lavender dress, the top up is pretty, the bottom ugly. Hideous. Don't like it. But one thing I do like about Dubai, and even now Married to Medicine is doing that now, where they showcase like the full outfit. I feel like that forces people to put more energy into their outfits. Like really think about the whole outfit as a whole, because most of the time they just film it from the waist, like, well, not even the waist, from low key, from like your belly button up. And we seen the girls be sitting in like with what's it called, with slippers on and hoodies on, and like not hoodies but like joggers on underneath their outfits, where I feel like this you got to put it on. Like Ayan's red outfit, that eats. With the flower, that eats. Okay, out of all of the ones we've seen this far, that red one is taking it for me. The next thing we have is Lisa taking her 3 boys to soccer practice. So we find out that the oldest 2, I think their names are Max and Sebastian, got accepted into like one of like the prestigious schools over there. Maybe it's one of those like athletic schools that are like geared towards like sports. Because my cousin is actually in a program, like her school is geared towards like basketball. So like they have to keep up with their studies, but they also have like practice throughout the day. So I think maybe that's what that is. But she's super excited. The youngest one is adorable. I think his name is Tristan. He's cute. But we find out that her husband is like a stage dad. Like he really wants them to get into like, you know, the professional, like, I don't know what they call soccer. Well, when I say I don't know what they call soccer, you know how like you got the NFL, the MLB, and like NA, is it NHL, like the National Hockey League, you know, NBA national. I don't know what they have over there. You know, I know soccer might have like a, is it NSB? I don't know. I don't know. But we know, and around the world, soccer is like way more like globally, that's way more important than football. The way America loves football, people love soccer. I would love to go to like an actual like soccer game. Like the honestly, I just want to go to the World Cup like one good time. I don't care who I'm cheering for. I just want to be in that atmosphere of like when people's teams win and the stadium goes wild. I want to experience that. But because her kids now are taking these lessons, her schedule is taxing now, and I'm like, whoa. If the daddy want them to be in soccer like this, why he not taking them to practice? And also, y'all can't get a nanny to do this? But that's just me. But we see Lisa sitting down, and she is talking to, I guess, her website manager, and they're going over how they want to like change the aesthetic of Mina Rose, like they're rebranding. And I said, ooh, what Caroline said to you last season at that reunion hit you in your chest, because they then start talking about, Lisa starts talking about how, like, you know, Caroline came from my character and she came from my business. I have forgotten that Caroline tried to act like Lisa was pushing up on Sergio, or Sergio was, no, she tried to say Sergio was pushing up on Lisa, like Lisa don't got a whole man, a husband, and 3 kids. So I forgot about that. So Lisa does have a reason to have issues with Stansbury, but I still stand by that. I feel like she was too much on Stansbury last season, because it was like you went to her hen party, there was no issues. Ayam wasn't there, and I feel like Stansbury kicked it off with the whole trying to accuse Lisa of trying to, like, I don't know, push up on her man, or Sergio trying to push up on her. But then I feel like Lisa picked it up and kept running with it, where it was like after that it was up. Like she just needed a reason not to like really vibe with her. And I think it's because she listened to what Nina said, because Nina had some very disparaging things to say about Stansbury, but she clicked up with her. So I don't know. So they go back to what happened at the reunion. They even show what Sergio said. And I talked about this in a spicy corner, where Sergio texted this. Well, he tweeted this out. He says, I'm looking for some maternity clothes. Oh, I know, the biggest in the world, started by Mina. And again, they got called, they got called in a lie. Hashtag RHO Dubai. Actually, our friend founded your 8-figure business. Hashtag coming out, not even ranked, LOL, at Bravo TV. So Sergio, y'all know Sergio want to be a housewife, and you come for Caroline, he gonna be on your neck. What does Sergio do? Because Sergio has been showing up to every event, like dropping Caroline off. I was like, do you not have a job, Sergio? So then, you know, at the reunion, they went back and forth. You had Lisa saying that Caroline, you know, was in Jeffrey Epstein's book, which she was, but I don't think she ever was caught up in that situation. Then you had Caroline Stansbury calling Lisa an escort, and Lisa being like, if I was an escort, I would be paid, like I'd be booked and busy, or I'd be paid the most. Then Lisa calling Caroline the evil wicked witch of the Middle East. And I feel like they both said some things to each other that was disrespectful. Kind of like what Caroline Stansbury said in her confessional, like, we both was disrespectful to each other, so we should both try to move forward. And that's true. That's true. So we finally see the meetup between Stansberry and Ayan. They go to this really nice restaurant. Again, Sergio is dropping her off. I'm like, you ain't got no job, sir. And so they're at the dinner. We find out that Ayan brought Stansberry a pineapple. You know, she always buying things. But basically she said the pineapple symbolizes her, you know, prickly on the outside, but sweet on the inside once you get to know her and like she really opens up. And, you know, she said, I feel like me and you are kind of the same way. They ended up being able to like bond over the fact that like their kids are going to America to go to school. Like, I think Ayan's son wants to go to Princeton, or they went to like an American tour where like they saw Princeton, they saw Harvard, and then, Yasmin, who is Caroline's daughter, I think she was interested in like UCLA and Washington, and like they're gearing up to go to America and like look at the universities. I was kind of surprised that like they weren't looking at like universities in like Europe, you know? Like, and I also thought maybe, I guess Dubai, I don't know if they don't have colleges there. I feel like they would have to have colleges there. But I'm just surprised. I am surprised. I was like, so y'all just gonna come to America like for education? Like you didn't think any other school you would be interested in? They start talking about how like, you know, Dubai is safe, but what I will say is I watched Really BTV's her what's it called, her review of the show, so check her out. I'll put the information on the screen. And she was talking about like they're safe in their bubble. So I guess there are certain parts of Dubai where it's like Americans or like expats aren't really like, you're not supposed to go there because that's just for those people who are native to that land. And it's like that can be like, you know, some people, if they get caught outside of there, can be met with harm. So in your bubble, you're safe. But honestly, I feel like any place you go has danger. Like people are dangerous people. Like I've always wanted to go to like Japan and like Korea, and I had like rose colored glasses when I looked at those places thinking that they were like, oh my God, no, all of these great, wonderful things. But then when you listen to the people that live there who are locals, crime be happening. Okay. The crime be criming over there. Okay. Especially, you know, well, I'm not gonna just put that on them, but crime be happening. So it's really like you always have to be cognizant of wherever you are. But I do understand being scared for your child to be on the other side of the world and you can't just like hop in the car and fly to them. Like going to Dubai is like, I think like almost like a 24-hour ride in a plane. Like, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay, that's a whole day. Your child could be dead by then. You never know. You never know. So they then get on the conversation about Sarah. Ayan basically talks about how like she's been trying to stay happy, but also the situation with Sarah has really angered her. And Stansberry is like, what do you mean? And pretty much y'all know last year Ayan opened up about, you know, what happened to her when she was a kid. I think she called it FGM. So, you know, female genital like mutilation, you know, she got circumcised against her own will. And she talks about what happened to her as a kid. And she said that she was met with backlash from her own people, which I was surprised by. But she said in her culture, you don't talk about anything. And I said, girl, even in the Black culture, you're not supposed to talk about things. But I'm glad she spoke out. Like, that is something that does happen to women from where she's at. And it shouldn't happen. Like that type of like mutilation should not take place. So I'm glad she spoke out. I'm glad she was able to correct what happened to her. But it was wrong that I think she said her aunt and her grandmother did that to her. That's horrible. And so she said she was disgusted and upset and hurt by what Sarah did to her. So there was a page 6 article, and the headline says, Sarah Al-Madani, Chanel Ayan's traumas are no excuse for her bad behavior. And then when you look at it, it says, Al-Madani, 36, told the outlet, for her to take that story and victimize herself, I mean, we've all been through traumas in life, but that's not an excuse for us to treat people in a bad way or behave in any certain way. And that really pissed Ayan off, and it hurt her feelings because she was like, you were the one that encouraged me to open up. And I was never going to speak about what happened to me as a child. But because you were the one that said, hey, you should talk about it, I did. And now you're using it against me. And Stansberry even said, like Sarah of all people should have read the room and should have known like that was disgusting. And she shouldn't have did that. And she was just like, I'm surprised that she would do something like that. And Ayan was like, when it came out, I cried. Like, I was crying for days. I locked myself in the room. And it just makes me want to, like, crawl back into my shell and not say nothing. And Stansberry was like, girl, I'm the opposite. Like, that would make me louder. And low-key, I'm Stansberry. Oh, you want to play in my face? Let's play. Like, I would be louder. But everybody handles things differently. Later on, I got where Sarah was coming from when she had that sit down with Ayan, but just reading the headline and because of what Ayan faced and because it was so traumatic, I feel like anybody saying that you using that to victimize yourself, even in the context that Sarah was speaking of, would piss you off, and you probably wouldn't even like take the necessary steps or to like actually like read the article. You would just be like, nah, F you. Because why would you do that to me? You know what I mean? So, Ayan pretty much is like, she gonna have a conversation with Sarah. We then have this situation where we finally meet the newest housewife, Talene. We find out that her and Caroline Brooks have been friends for almost 10 plus years. Talene is from America. She's Armenian, and she lived in Virginia when she was a kid, but then when she turned 17, she moved to California. She got signed by Jamie Foxx. She's opened up for Sting, Christina Aguilera, and I guess a number of other like notable recording artists. And so when she met her husband, who I'm like, what does he do for him to make you, for you to, because it's the thing. She was like, I met the love of my life and I gave up my career. Girl, your career was not going anywhere. Like, if I'm gonna be honest, the little singing she did for us that they showed, it was cute. But I don't know if it was worthy of like a career, Ain't trying to hate. I'm just saying, I don't know if it was like that. You know what I'm saying? But her husband was like, hey, I'm moving to Dubai. You coming with or not? And she came with, and she was so excited when she met Caroline Brooks because she was like, I think all I saw was American flag on her face. And that was my friend. She was just like, she was like, there wasn't a lot of people from America that had moved to Dubai by the time she had moved there. She was like, Caroline Brooks is the type of friend that you can call at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when you drunk on the side of the road, and she'll come and get you. She'll talk your head off, but she'll come and get you. And so then Caroline Brooks tells Talene about Stansberry. She was like, Stansberry was watching you like a hawk when we was at the Beyonce event, and like she even was talking about how you fail and all of this stuff. And she was like, is this how she has fun? And Talia was like, yeah, that's how I have fun. And like we get, we drink and we have a good time. It seems like when Caroline and Talene get around each other, they become luscious. They get drunk and they have a good time. But it doesn't seem like everybody else is into the way that they have fun. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Ayan and them gowns be annoying me. I'm not even going to lie. The first season, I thought it was kind of cute. But if you've watched my last video, the drama video, I'll be honest. I did not like Lisa or Ayan last season. I actually really enjoyed Stansberry and Brooks last season. I know a lot of people didn't like Brooks or Stansberry, but I liked both of them more than I liked Ayan and Lisa because I felt like Lisa had a hard on for Stansberry, and I also felt like Ayan was just doing too much. But it seems like this is truly like her personality. So I can kind of give her leeway now because I'm like, girl, if this really is you and you not putting on because there's a camera in front of you, then have at it, sis. Have at it. So Lisa decided to have a brunch. I guess it's winter in Dubai, but winter in Dubai is 94 degrees. Girl, I want to know what summers is like. Is it like 120? I don't know. So they go to this really nice beachside resort area, and they both have on like heels. So I guess they didn't know that like where they were having them sit down and having like lunch with each other and breakfast, like brunch. So lunch and breakfast together was going to be insane. And Ayan's heels were high as hell. high as hell. And even though I thought what Lisa had on was cute, her heels were pretty high as well. I said, y'all should have had on flats. Matter of fact, if I was them, I would have said, I would, before the I guess the hostess would have had me and her sit down, I would have took my shoes off. Because what I'm not about to do is snap my ankle while we walking through sand. I'm not. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So we see Stansberry get dropped off by Sergio. Again, does Sergio not have a job? Like, what we doing, Sergio? What you do in real life? So Lisa and Ayanna sitting down at the table. Everyone's just admiring how pretty the setup is. Stansberry comes and she's like, oh my gosh. And so you can tell that Lisa really doesn't see it for her, because Lisa's face was like, hi. Lisa was like, okay, let me muster up a smile. And so Ayan couldn't get up because of how tall her heels were. And even Stansberry was like, girl, I would have been crawling on the floor. Like, I would not walk in those. So she sits down. And they're like, Lisa and Ayan were like, Lisa says, Ayan told me you guys had a great lunch together. And Stansberry was like, yeah, it was really nice. It was productive. And then Ayan was like, honestly, I feel like you two should be friends, because I feel like y'all like y'all have similar like tastes. Y'all actually like seem very like, y'all are basically the same person. And then Caroline Stansberry was like, yeah, we love shopping. We love our Birkins. And Lisa's like, yes, even Stansberry in her confessional acknowledges that they both said some pretty messed up things to each other, with the whole like, you steal people designs, her saying she on that man in that man's book, y'all know who I'm talking about, Jeffrey's book, and then the whole escort thing back and forth, evil, like they both were really going at each other at the reunion, that I think Stansberry is like, at the end of the day, like we both did each other dirty, so I guess we can let bygones be bygones and like move forward. But the thing about Lisa is, Lisa will give a compliment and take it back, because as they were sitting down at the table, Lisa is like, maybe I misjudged you, only time will tell. And I was surprised that Stansberry was like, see, you be doing that. Like, you give a compliment and then you snatch it back. And Lisa was like, yeah, I know what you're about to say. But I'm like, if you know what she was about to say, then why'd you do it? You should have just been like, I think maybe I've misjudged you based off of what other people have said. And then in my head, I probably would have been like, only time will tell me whether or not I was wrong or right. Maybe we could try to move forward. So as they're sitting down at the table, next thing you know, we have Sarah, Talene, and Brooke show up. For some reason, Sarah has like an inflatable donut around her, but she has on this really nice, like, leisurely kind of dress. And I'm just like, if it was supposed to be funny, it wasn't funny. So they sit down. You can immediately tell Ayan is not happy to see Sarah, because she got this face like, okay, she here. It was very much like, all right. And so they're sitting down at the table. They all are like, I think Lisa's like, oh, Stansberry, how's Sergio? And she was like, oh, he just dropped me off. And then Brooks makes a comment about like, where are our husbands? Basically, to Talene, to like referring to her and Sarah. And so Sarah says something like, I just want a man that's empathetic, kind, and very spiritual, because I'm spiritual. When she says spiritual, Ayan's face is just like, okay, spiritual. And then Brooke said, I invite, I somehow, what's the word? I attract narcs. So then while they're sitting at the table, you could tell Brooks is drunk. Like, she's very, like, kind of, she's not chaotic, but she's just kind of just all over the place. She is, like, sipping on her drink. Like, I mean, sipping up them little martinis. She got food on the side. I said, girl, calm down. And over there, I think, like, if you, public intoxication can get you arrested or a fine. But like I said, I watched Really BTV's review, and she was talking about how there's certain pockets in these areas that are like for the tourists. So like certain things, they're more laxed about it. So her being drunk in that area is kind of like, it was okay for her. So they're sitting down at the table, and, Talene introduces herself about being Armenian, being from America, and she's been in Dubai for such and such time. And so then Ayan gets straight to it, where she was like, well, girl, because they all start talking about Beyonce. And Ayan's like, well, Talene, I heard you face planted and that people saw your coochie. And Talene is like, girl, what? And so she was like, who told you that? And Talim, Ayan was like, Stansberry. And they show a flashback of Stansberry telling Ayan about, Talim face planning. So then Brooks is like, she didn't face plan. It wasn't that serious. Like, trying to have her friends back because she feels like Stansberry is trying to embarrass Talim. And we find out that Stansberry and Brooks have gotten close, but it's only been just a year now, whereas she has been close with Talim for 10 years. So she kind of feels like, girl, not too much on my girl. Not too much on my girl. And so then Stansberry was like, yeah, well, he did see, like, Sergio saw your vagina and he loved it. And, Talene is like, okay, girl, like, I don't think he saw all of that, but I'm going to let you have it. Because in her confessional, she was like, I'm a little assy, but it wasn't all of that. I really didn't fall like that. Because when Brooks and Talene were sitting down at their one-on-one where they were talking, Brooks said, you fell. I picked you up and put a drink in your hand and we kept it pushing. And she was like, yeah, so I don't know what she getting at. So then Brooks actually gets up and cause she real drunk. She was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I said, yeah, girl, break that seal and pee all of that out. Pee it all out. Pee it all out. So Stansberry is like, what is up with her? Cause she's really on 10 right now. So like I said, Caroline Brooks gets up from the table and Caroline Stansberry is like, what's up with her? Because why is she on 10 right now? Like, did y'all drink in the car before y'all got here? Because Caroline Brooks even says she drunk. So it seems like she had been throwing them back. So then Sarah ends up saying well, I'm doing this spiritual thing with these shamans from Bali. And Ayan makes a face and then she was like, and I'm also, telling Brooks to do it too. So then Lisa chimes in and she was like, oh yeah, Brooks told me about it. And she said she gonna need more than a shaman. And so Ayan starts to get emotional and everyone's like, what? Ayan, you okay? Like, what's up with you? So then Ayan tells Sarah, she was like, I think it's kind of crazy that you basically doing the same thing you did with me to Brooks, where you trying to get her to open up, but I just hope you don't stab her in the back the way you did me. And then Sarah was like, don't go low. What are you talking about? And Sarah was like, I said you, just because of what you experienced doesn't mean you can victimize yourself or something like that. And so Lisa chimes in and was like, why would you say that? And so Ayan starts to get loud. She cussing at Sarah. Sarah was like, oh, we getting that way. And Ayan is like, yeah, you stabbed me in my back. And then so Sarah's like, well, your husband thanked me. You thanked me about me. You helping you open up. And that's when Ayan is like, yeah, I was thanking you, but I didn't expect you to stab me in my back. So then Stansberry is like, hey, we in public, calm all of that down. Go talk over there. I want to finish this food. I want to eat this bread. Don't ruin this for me. So they get up and they go sit, I guess, by the pool area. And Ayan basically says, Sarah, what you did, hurt me. I opened up to you and you then said that I victimized myself. I used my story to victimize myself. So then Sarah was like, that's not what I meant. I basically said that because of what you experienced as a child doesn't give you the leeway to be mean to other people or to bleed on people that didn't cut you. So then Ayan is like, do I look like I bleed? I said... She not getting it. So then Ayan is just like, Sarah, I just felt really betrayed. So then Sarah brings up, and I remember these tweets because I talked about it in Spicy Corner, where Ayan was throwing shade at Sarah, where she said, did she just block me from 4 tech companies she doesn't own that I have never heard of? What happened to that ugly shoot of you did for 5 magazine covers I never saw? Let's compare. You are not on my level, honey. That's Twitter. So Sarah and Ayan were kind of going back and forth because I remember Sarah said some things to Ayan, so Ayan and her were responding. So then I do remember Sarah doing the photo cover and then Ayan being like, now she want to be a model for Twitter and quote tweets, and she was like, the quote tweets are dead. So Ayan was giving it to Sarah, and I guess Ayan basically said, well, did you say what you said about me victimizing myself when I before I did this or after I did this. And I guess Sarah said she did it after, but then Ayan didn't want to go into it. And the thing is, like, I get both sides. I get Ayan being like, girl, I shared something traumatic and very personal to me with you. And then for me to read articles, and then also it probably was the timing, because if all of this was happening while Ayan was being condemned by her own community, it does feel like a pile on. And it's like, girl, you pissing on me while I'm down. Like, for real, like, that's how you gonna do me. But I do also get what Sarah is saying, where it's like, just because of what you experienced as a child doesn't mean you can be mean or nasty to other people and that would be okay. But I don't think Ayan uses her story to, like, victimize herself, because before we even knew about what Ayan faced as a child, like in last season, we had already seen Ayan be herself, and she never made any mention about what she experienced as a kid. So I feel like what Sarah was trying to, like, make it wasn't it, because Ayan has never used her story as a justification as to why she is the way she is. Because even when Sarah was like, I say you victimize yourself to be the center of attention, and then Ayan is like, because I am the center of attention. I feel like we've never really, she did that a little bit, but I feel like her personal story was never what she used to victimize herself. She's just always like, girl, y'all hating on me because I'm that girl. I don't get where Sarah was coming from with that. I got what she was saying, but I also don't get why she led with that in that interview with Page 6. So then they flash back at the table. We see Brooks come back at the table, and Talene asks Stansberry, are we good? And Stansberry's like, what are you talking about? And she was like, well, you keep bringing up about me face planting or falling down, and Brooks said you brought it up. And so Stansberry is looking at Brooks like, girl, we talk every day, and you didn't have no issue with it. And if you thought it was an issue, you should have told me that you didn't like the way I was speaking about your friend. And then Brooks was like, well, you did bring it up a couple of times, and it was kind of like you was making fun of her. And then Stansberry was like, no, I wasn't making fun of you like that. I feel like she kind of was. I think Stansberry was just kind of like, if she be getting drunk and acting unruly like that with Beyonce, is that how she acts all the time? But also, I'm trying to figure out what's up with Brooks, because even last season, we didn't see her drunk like that. So I'm just kind of like, girl, because you was drunk. You had food everywhere. You was sucking up them margaritas. Maybe something had happened that day and she just didn't want to share it with anybody. But now Stansberry kind of feels some type of way, because now she's like, you know what? Me and Brooks have gotten close, and if she really had an issue, she should have just talked to me. And the fact that she didn't is making me feel some type of way. So Ayan and Sarah are going at it, because now Sarah's like, she doesn't even want an apology from Ayan, and Ayan is like, girl, you wasn't gonna get one from me. So then Sarah tries to stand up after she says she didn't want an apology from Ayan, and Ayan says, Sarah, you need to stop acting like you're a good person, because you're not. And Sarah's like, I am a good person. And so when Ayan gets up, Sarah was like, well, maybe you need to stop buying clothes. Oh no, she says you're not a good person, and then Sarah was like, I am a good person, and you need to stop borrowing clothes. And then I think Ayan was like, well, you need to check your soul, like get your soul checked, and maybe instead of getting face plastic surgery, you get a soul surgery. I said, girl, because when I tell you they was going back and forth, she was like, you victimize yourself. You're not a nice person. She said, you borrow clothes. You need to get your soul checked. Then it went from really Ayan to, and I'm not gonna lie, Sarah's plastic surgery makes her look night and day. Like, her nose job I don't think she looked bad before she got her nose job, but like, it's a difference. It's the men she pulling now, she wouldn't have pulled with that old face. She wouldn't have. She wouldn't have. But yeah, I giggled while they were arguing. I thought this was a pretty decent first episode of the season. It's kind of giving me Miami vibes, where the arguments don't feel contrived. They don't feel like overproduced. It feels like a natural progression of drama. So I'm interested in seeing like what Talene is going to bring to the show, as well as the other girl who's supposed to be like a friend of the show. I don't know her name, but yeah, I think this season might be very interesting. So I'm down for the ride. I'm down for the ride. But yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic and definitely hop down in them comments below and share your thoughts with me. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.